Hello, and we are back for another day of fun and joy as we are going through our Experience Love Again After Divorce event. And we are in our uh, day night, day nine, day night. I'm already tongue twisting, but that's all fun. And today we actually have with us Diane and Jean-Luc. These are the speakers for today. So if anybody wants to tune in to listen as well as join us, and they'll share a little bit about the scoops, just some teasers for you to like truly listen, because like I always say, these interviews are super powerful. There are a lot of tools, there is a lot of wisdom, and you just really want to connect to somebody that really resonates with you. And as always, we are going just to start and talk a little bit about who we are and what we are doing. And Diane, I'll start from you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Good to be here again. I'm Diane Armitage. I, for 27 years, had a really wonderful, fortunate relationship with Bob Proctor. Now I'm tongue-tied. I was his writing partner for 27 years, and of course, the lucky apprentice along the way. And boy, did that transform my life. And in the process of working with him, I also worked with many, many of the giant personal development leaders in their writing, marketing, curriculum. And I created a global marketing agency as well. And about 4 years ago, Bob told me it was time to step out from behind the curtain and start teaching my own curriculum, creating my own curriculum for my own clients. And that is what I've been doing ever since, because you do what Bob tells you to do.
Exactly. Love it. Love it. Yes, absolutely. Awesome. Richard, how about you?
Good afternoon, Richard Morden. I'm a post-divorce coach. I love catching people out, not catching, holding that space for people after divorce to really help them understand their story. And because we often do all the things we think we should do, that we're supposed to do, because, maybe modeling our parents, well, if I do this, I should be happy, or I might be happy. And when it doesn't work out, you don't know why. Like, what happened? I did everything I was told to do, but did you do it for yourself? And I'm all about helping you understand, what do you need to do for yourself, and how do you fill your own cup? Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Jean-Luc, how about you?
Well, my name is Jean-Luc. So I think you're going to find out today from the interview a lot about, I talk a lot about passion and purpose, which kind of fuel everything in your life. So even after a divorce, when you have to sit down and look at yourself and where you're going with your life, and that's where I concentrate on to really sort out the things that belong to you and the things that don't belong to you. So that's a cleanup time. So it's very important to take that time after a separation or a divorce to really do the homework and see where you want to go from there. And I think there's a lot of coaches who have a lot of tools that can help with this.
Yes, absolutely. And I can relate to that, because once I focus on my passion and purpose, the pain become not so bad. So it's very good to like really focus on ourselves rather than on other circumstances and on other people. Totally agree. Bruno, how about you?
Yeah, so my name is Bruno. I am a self-love coach for women. I guide successful women to honor their ambition and inner peace without burning out and feeling guilty, ashamed, or blaming themselves for prioritizing themselves for once. Yes, that's what I do.
Awesome, love it. Yay. All right. So you know what comes to my mind when we are talking, first of all, obviously we want to get into the interviews. But before that, just thinking about, there are so many people who are searching for that help, and they do not know exactly where to go. So I'm so blessed that we can pull all of us together and come up with something that we gifted to everybody who register, right? Because it can be lonely, it can be very hurtful, it can be very devastating for a lot of people, because you go through a lot of emotions. There is that sense of, missing of belonging somewhere, and people feel truly lost, and I can connect to that because I was in that space. And it's so important, again, like we were talking about, to be in the community, to be around the people who are accepting you, who are supporting you. And it's not necessarily could be like the friends or the relatives, right? That's why it's so important to seek out the people who are going through the similar experience, because people who are not in the same shoes, they might not understand exactly what everybody is going through. So it's important to be with like-minded people, with people who have the same experience, and know that nobody's going to judge you, nobody's going to shame you, and people are just welcoming you, and you'll receive a lot of love and acceptance. And that's exactly what we are talking about, the power of the community and how important it is to be in that space, knowing that you're not alone, knowing that there is support for you. And that's why we are coming with all these interviews, because they are very powerful, and they really make that shift in your mindset where you start looking at the life under the different glass, right? And everything starts shifting for you, so you're not that lonely anymore, you're not that lost anymore. And that's why it's so important to tune in, that's why it's so important to join this event, and to understand that when we are together, we are superpower. Diane, tell a little bit about what are your thoughts about it, and also a little bit about your interview that is playing today.
Well, I was thinking as you were talking about it, when you and I did our interview, we talked about, attracting love again, and the exact steps that Bob Proctor gave me to bring in my new partner. And sometimes when people have gone through a divorce, they think, oh, this is the last thing I want to do. I do not want to get in another relationship. But what's so interesting to understand is, first of all, when you are moving out of a relationship of that stature, you still have this vibratory element in you that knew and understood love at a certain degree, and you still have that energy around you. And it's often been said that after 6, 9, 10, 12 months, that energy begins to fade out. And if you are willing, and if you feel no reluctance against it, it's really great to move back into that space in a matter of months after the divorce. Now, it's entirely up to you, but this was something that, was said to me as advice from Bob at one point. But the other thing to keep in mind too is that when you go through the exercises that you and I talked about in my interview, you are stipulating to yourself and to the universe who is going to be in your life and who that person is, what they are all about. And you get very clear, and you get a lot of clarity on it. And when you get through the exercises, when you go back in and look at that, you think, wow, I have really changed from the person I was that attracted the person I was married to and went through and was in this relationship with. And a lot of times people say, well, I don't really know what I want to, what I often tell them to do is to write down the things that were the most frustrating and the most discouraging in the relationship, because the law of polar opposites, the law of polarity, is writing the exact opposite, because for everything that's negative, there is a positive. So if you have to start with what was the most frustrating in your relationship, then write the polar opposite. And then you're going to begin to clarify exactly what it is of the characteristics that you want to bring in.
I love what you shared. And I just wanted to add, for a common hour thinking, people are just, so, fixed with their idea what is possible for them, right? And that's why it's so important to come to these kind of events with the open mind, understanding that if it's possible for one, it's possible for everyone. And a lot of times we were told, well, you cannot have it all, all good ones are taken, right? And a lot of people are just living in these limitations, and they recreate the same stories again and again and again. That's why it's so important to join this event and really listen to the interviews and see people are really coming out of this, shell where everybody is just sitting and saying, this is my story, right? And understand that you can actually attract the partner the way that you desire. Yes, it requires work. Yes, it requires belief, but so is everything else, right? So either yes, you are going to use your energy whether you want to create or whether you want to just recreate, right? So
or whether you want to stay in resistance.
Exactly. There is no
Yeah.
need to stay where you are because you've done it. You'll explore. You already explored it. You know how it is. So now let's just venture out and start experiencing something else and see how it goes well with us, right?
Right, exactly. Now you have a refined picture of what it is that you are bringing in.
Mm-hmm. Yes, love it. Absolutely. Awesome. So, yes, everybody who did not register yet, register because this interview not to miss. Richard, how about you? What was coming for you as we were having this conversation?
Well, as I've said before, my wife and I live with a couple of phrases, and we don't realize how often we say it. We say, how does it get any better than this, and what else is possible? Because often we speak in conclusions, and I'm all about creation because so many times, especially in marriages and remarriages, the divorce rate goes up, and I think men are more prone to it. They replace. They just simply put somebody in place to fix so they don't have to think about it. That's an unfortunate circumstance because nobody moves. No, everybody's stuck, and especially your children, as Bruno talks about that. So to me, it's what do you want? What can you create, and not from what you have in common, because again, that can also be a sticking point. Because I have this much in common, and then somehow they spend so much time trying to build something else, and it was never the opportunity was never there. It was in the partner. So again, up front, what do you want to create together? How much can you explore? And again, all this takes real world testing, especially we're in this journey of we call healing. It's fine and it's good work, but it takes real world encounters with other people to make it flow, to really understand your neurology, to get your voice in there, to be able to put the tough questions in, and then say the hard rules as Diane said. You put down what do you want, but what are the hard no's that in a potential relationship you say, I can't go anywhere with this because this person has, and it's not wrong, but you don't succumb to something. And I told my daughter, I said, if you think you can help somebody, run like hell. Because we often get caught, I can help this person, exit stage left, because they'll always find someone else to help them. What can you guys build together and create and really inspire together? And how you work for us, my wife and I, we've helped each other so much in our own health and how we changed our food and stuff. And we've had, coming from, I was a sugar guy, so coming from those to continue to grow together and challenge each other. And I think that's what life is about, continue to grow, not just sit in front of the TV, because we know what happens there.
Absolutely. Love it. Jean-Luc, tell a little bit about your interview.
Well, we talk in the interview, we talk about taking care of yourself first. If you don't fix yourself, you'll attract the same thing. It'll look better. It'll be different. It could have a beautiful body, could have beautiful face, whatever the partner. But then within a few months, you'll be back in the same pattern because you did not work on yourself. So we talk about the passion. What is that you love? Like when you're alone, now it's the time to do it. So if you decide what you love in life and what you won't accept, and all of a sudden you say, okay, I'm ready to start dating again, and this beautiful partner shows up, but because you've done your homework, it does not fit. They don't like what you like, and they're kind of controlling. Then you can say, see you, next case. But if you didn't do the homework, all of a sudden this beautiful person, like really gorgeous person shows up, you just go for it, then end up in trouble again because you go with just the emotions at the time. But when you're ready and you do the homework, then you can say no. You say, no, you're not for me. We're not going the same way. Like a lot of people, when they meet somebody and they just are just coup de foudre in French there, they're just like love at first sight, then they have a path going this way, but all of a sudden the person takes them this way. It's fun at first, but then you're not on your path. And then within a few months to a year, then you're not happy, because you did not stay on your path because this person looked too good or just seems to be the right person. But when you connect to yourself and really look at what you love, you don't let somebody take it away from it. So to me, like I'm a skier and a scuba diver, I had women in my life that were not, but I still did it. They didn't stop me from doing it. If they would have tried, then there would have been a problem. But I'll go ski with buddies. I'll go ski with friends. And then going to the south, if I go scuba diving, they don't like it. They'll be in the boat. And I had one, she didn't want to do it. So she was happy to be in the boat. But she did not stop me. And same, the other thing, I didn't stop her from doing what she loved. there's a middle ground, but there's also we have to be each other's own person. So sometimes you
Mhm.
without the partner. But if you didn't do the homework, didn't look at your passion and removes the one that don't belong to you, then you can't do the right decision. And that's what we talk about. It's more about be yourself first, love yourself first, because you cannot give love if you don't have love for yourself.
Mhm.
You got to fill your cup first, and then you can bring somebody on board and say and stand up for yourself. Right? There's men and women. It's masculine and feminine. Some women are harder
Mhm.
on men, and men are harder on women. It's all different things we have to do. So as a person, you got to stand up and oh, she's not going to like me anymore, right? So I got to do this for her, but it's against my grain. There's things I will
Mhm.
do that's not mine, but because it's all right. But you got to know your limit. You got to know all where you fit in all this.
Love it. Awesome. Yes. Yes. So, and there are more tips and there are more tools. You gotta tune into that interview. Bruno, how about you? What comes to you? Are you on mute?
So sorry, you can hear me now, right? Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, yeah. I mean, I think we all said you all said great things. You all said great tips. Yeah, from manifestation to the physical side, to the emotional side, to the psychological side, to the mental side, to the psychic side. Um, it's like we're never going to reach like the most perfect state, but we are going to reach our greatest state. And because I believe in parallel realities a lot, in each time we set an intention, we're just kind of shifting our parallel reality into achieving the greatest form we possibly can within that parallel reality, right? And it's shifting those realities at each minute or second, right? That makes the make it or break it of our life, right? Because we live in an infinite universe, right? The universe keeps on expanding and expanding and expanding, and we are our own universes as well, right? We live in a universe, but we also have a whole universe, right? And so a person who sees herself or himself as limitless, a person who has no limits, will feel like you're absolute like will feel like um, there's something wrong when a person like contains herself, and this is one of the levels that this is one of the levels where like we actually help you with as well. In all of us help you, like we're not just helping you to we're not just helping you to overcome your divorce, we're also helping you after your divorce. Right? Because the tips that we give you, you can use them at any point you want in your life. However, this applies more to the divorce. But we talk about embodiment, we talk about self-awareness, we talk about manifestation, we talk about fitness health, we talk about how maintaining that fitness health. We talk about how important it is for you to reinvent yourself. You can reinvent yourself at any point you
Mhm.
want in your life. You don't have to go through divorce to reinvent yourself. You can reinvent yourself after the divorce. You can reinvent yourself after you leave your family's house. You can reinvent yourself after you have kids. You can reinvent yourself before you have kids. You can always be reinventing yourself, right? And it doesn't change anything just because this summit is only is not only but more specifically towards like divorced people or people who want to get a divorce. So this is englobes a lot of it, right? And then again, it's like people don't have to do it alone. um and like we live in a time and age where there's so much information accessible to people like that, like 20, 30, 40 years ago it wasn't like that. From business side to even the emotional side of it, right? um yes. And yeah, it's like just take the chances and the possibilities you can, and remember that like you're doing the best for you, but you're also doing the best for the ones who love seeing you at your best, right?
Mhm. Yep. Awesome.
Not that
Awesome.
if you're not at your best, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
No, it's fine. Yeah.
So let's just talk a little bit about the free gifts, because obviously the interviews are very valuable, but also every speaker has the free gift. Diane, what is your free gift?
So my free gift is a 4-piece part. It is a initial exercise that. So what happened was, I was telling Bob that I wasn't getting the man in my life, and after he had a very good chuckle, he walked me through the process of exactly what I was supposed to do. And so I've refined that as I teach it to my clients. So the first step is a worksheet that I walk you through in a video. And then there's a second worksheet that has to be done after the first one is done. And that's also included in the video. And then as soon as you finish those worksheets and have greater clarity, then you and I actually have a call. So we have a call together so that I can help you even further with any resistance or reluctance, or, just any kind of reasons why your reasoning mind is still trying to keep you in this safe space or in this space over here, instead of really opening yourself up to attracting the next love.
I love it. Awesome. How about you, Richard?
Well, an ebook, a 20-page ebook, actually, on the courage to care for yourself. Because when you say, look after yourself, put yourself first, promote, like, what does that really mean? How? So we provide a lot of tips and steps and ways to look at how do you begin with self-care? How do you start prioritizing yourself? Because again, we've been so taught to focus on others, but those little steps of awareness, when you continue to go through, oh, I can do this, and it becomes easy, because then you teach that self-care again to the people around you. You teach it to your children how to look after themselves, and again, then you naturally have boundaries. You don't have to start doing all this work, and you naturally have a flow of connectivity. You naturally have a flow of what I call your intuition, your gut instinct, which is really how we be living our lives, trusting ourselves, and how we feel in life, not looking around for other people for approval.
Awesome. I love it. Self-care is like so much underrated. And you're right. A lot of people just, give it to everybody else, but not to themselves. And it's important to flip the coin and start really, really taking care of ourselves first. Jean-Luc, how about you? What's your free gift?
Well, it's the wheel of life. So to me, when I work with my client a lot of time, when we start doing long-term vision, they just have a hard time because a lot of them tell me, I can't even plan what I'm going to do next week. How could I plan?
Mhm.
So the wheel of life is a 3-month exercise. You're supposed to do it every 3 months. So when we do it, the gift is I send you the wheel of life with all the worksheet, but I also offer to do it with you for free. It's about 30 minutes. And there's a lot of explanation that goes with it. And then you see 10 different parts of your life. And then when you do it, it won't look like a wheel. It will look like this. Some part of your life that needs work. And what it does to you, it just make a visual of where you're not taking care of things in your life. And it's always fun to do because by the time you do the 10th section, it really affects you in where you're going to concentrate. So if you do it every 3 months, you will see a big change because you'll concentrate on the one you're lacking, and it will just make you aware. So the awareness of just looking at the picture works on its own, but we do a little bit more to it. And then when you do it again in 3 months, it's just like amazing the results you can get, because now your subconscious knows where you have to work, area of your life that need to work on. So it's very fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yay. Great, great. How about you, Bruno? What's your free gift?
Yeah, so my free gift is an e-guide. It's a playbook called the 30-minute playbook. So I'm a big believer that change doesn't start until we're aware that we need that change, or that we will benefit from that change. And so it's a 30-minute playbook. So basically, it's a guide that takes 30 minutes. It's about self-reflection on how we can be in control all the time. The goal of the e-guide is to have us, instead of overthinking and being stuck on like problem dwelling, we self-reflect and we transition and prime our brains to like problem solving, right? So and when it comes to self-reflection, it's all about being creative with it and seeing what you want. Do you want to understand why your problems happened, Do you want to, find solutions in order for that problem to never happen again? It's really up to your choice. And so 30 minutes, and with practice, it takes even less than that. So yes.
Awesome. So let's just wrap it up. Anybody wants to say something, the last words for people to join? Why is it so important to join? Anybody want to say something?
Yeah,
Jean-Luc?
I think being a lot of free gifts here. There's what, 28. I would suggest to everybody just to use them all, because you'll get different perspective from different coaches. And the thing is to remember is that when you watch a video or just read something, it's all going through your filters. When somebody talks to you, a coach talks to you, they'll go around your filters. They'll trigger you to make some changes, because every time you look at something and you let it go through your filters, if it doesn't fit how you feel, you just push it out. But when you're challenged or triggered, then it's a lot more fun.
Yep. Awesome. Great. Anybody else want to add something, Diane?
I think Richard wanted to go next.
Okay, Richard.
Well, again, we talk about resourcing, and I look at one of the things I mentioned is the 4 stages of competence, because I firmly believe we're in that throughout our life. One of those stages, somewhere in life, we're in one of those stages, and the biggest piece of that is accepting change and how do I resource myself. We often get stuck. We're not taught, and I think being resourceful is a skill. It's a mindset of looking, where do I go? And this is a tremendous amount of resources that you can pick through, and and just look at little things that might catch your attention, and again, apply it, because it comes out of where we get into this sort of apathy. Oh, this is how it happens to me all the time. But when you really look at how to resource yourself, it's much more formative. Again, you're teaching that to others, because as you learn, and you have to go to get food, you have to go and do certain things. Well, spend half an hour a day trying to get your mindset in where you can look, how you want to shape your life, and plan it, not just let it happen to you. And I think that's a big shift that I had to make in my life. It doesn't just happen. I have to make it happen. So from there, things start to fall in place for you.
Awesome. Diane, anything you want to add?
Sure. I was just going to add that, it's so important to understand how powerful you are and what a great, amazing co-creator you are on this planet, and that you really can bring anything in, But what it takes is that feeling tone of the assumption and the expectation of it already being done, of it already having happened, that it's just here and it's coming here to you. It's just here and it's coming here to you. And when you're in that expectation and that assumptive state, you have that higher level of vibration, everything happens faster. Everything happens faster, even when it's about love.
I love it. Awesome. Bruno, do you want to wrap us up?
Yeah, sure. Well, now I'm not muted, so that's nice. So basically, yeah, I mean, like Jean-Luc said, like get all the free gifts. Like Diane said as well, right? Like, look, high level of vibrations, and energy, energy helps, energy sells, energy heals, and when I'm talking about energy, I'm talking about high energy. And your age doesn't matter. What matters is what you do with what you have. And in this case, you have 28 speakers who are giving you so much information that, we actually put a price tag on, right? And that's it, like just really bathe on it, embrace it, give it a go. You have nothing to lose. And be grateful for the universe, right? There's just so much out there. It's like, think about the amount of people who would be willing to do this. They would jump at first sight, on it, right? And maybe those people don't really have that opportunity, but you do. And now, I can understand if you say, yeah, but I have nothing to do with those people. And I'm like, I understand, completely get it. But we only really value things when we don't have them. Right? as at least it is for a lot of people. And so you have the opportunity to not become that type of person, to not embody that state of being, to not end up in the same situation as those people, right? And so the universe always says yes. The universe always gives you exactly what you need, even if you don't see it that way, right? So yeah, that's it. Like, take it. It's yours, right? Take it. You're worthy of the help. And that's the thing, is like, you gotta believe you're worthy of the help, right? So yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I just wanted to say thank you to each one of you for coming in and taking your time and talk to the audience, right? And again, if you are watching it, this is not a coincidence. This is the message for you. Just take it in and register and see us all in the action with all the gifts and all the goodies for you. All the best, and see you tomorrow on the next live. Bye.